Hi, I'm Brian, and in this week's episode we'll finish shorting the screws and nails and get some extra storage there for some tools and equipment for easy access. I'll also strip the majority of the hardware off of the Thunderbird here. I'll also get around to removing the windows with the help of a visitor, and we'll also look at the restoration of the bandsaw that was lent to me, and we'll end up with a big surprise there. A little bit more work than what we had thought. So Dad stopped by today and I put him right to work. He gets to sort the screws and nails so he can continue to sort it out and get it on the rack. I did get a shelf built for down here so that I can store some of the larger bundles of screws and nails and stuff that I have, and they should still be fairly easy accessible. So after Dad's great sorting, we got it all organized. I've got screwdrivers here, I've got my screws and nuts and bolts and nails and everything else there. I got some of my hand tools here, chisels, wrenches. First off, my traveler. I don't know how old it is. It's probably original to the boat. It's being fairly loose, and the way it was hooked up with the rope coming across, there was a rope up about this high that just caused a tripping hazard as you were trying to climb in and out of the cabin. Also, my washboards for the cabin, they're starting to show a little bit of age. Just need good sanding, some epoxy, and a good coat of paint there. Moving forward here, I do want to rebid all the hardware. It's been on since I bought the boat and who knows how much longer. These two rails here, you can see that this one is really rotten, and this hatch has started to weaken itself off. It's rotted out there, so I'm going to have to take it apart, flip it over, rebuild and repair the areas that are there. My chain plates that come down through this deck, I have two of them, one there, and then two on the other side. They've also started to leak and allow water in, so I'm going to take them off, rebid them, and set them. My mast boot is showing its age, and it's time to take that apart and reset it. And up here I've noticed that there is a little bit of play in this. If you look underneath, there is some room inside. Also, my pulpit is not securely attached, and I'll have to take it apart, and I will be working on up front. There is some cracking that's been happening over the years, and a couple of different spots. I want to fix that up with the epoxy, and this spot here where these are offset from each other and it's causing that issue with being able to catch there. I'm going to have to take this apart and look at right there. And last but not least, my windows here have been leaking over the last couple of years, doing a slow leak. So I'm going to plan on taking this outer plywood off, popping the window out, and then getting a new piece and mounting it right on the outside of this boat. So lots of little things to do to get this boat up to scruff, so I'll be able to use it for the next few years. they were embedded through an extra piece of plywood or right into the outer piece, and it does look, at one point there was bolts on it, and by the looks of it, it does look like it was leaking, as you can see by the darkness of them. Okay. Wow. Just might leave some extra fun in here for me. Yeah. This is gonna be great fun. I can barely get my shoulders through here. So my toe rail is screwed in with screws about every 4 inches all along this bar. So what I'm going to do, I'll loosen them off by hand, and then I'll be able to take them out with power. And if they don't loosen off, well, I'll have to figure out some other way to get them out without stripping them. This is bolted through, but to get to that bolt, you get to climb in this nice little hatch. We get to reach up through that hole and try to reach the bolt. So I can see that this is going to be a little bit of fun. So the 4 windows came out easier than I thought they would. I want to thank Nicolette for stopping by and giving me a hand. She happens to have a Thunderbird also and wanted the experience of having to take the windows out, so I very much appreciate that. So I got a little bit of sanding out here. Clean this up and I'll have to paint it again just to make it nice and tidy. And I'm going to cut this lip out. I don't know if you can see it, but about halfway down here there's a lip. I'll cut that out, which will give me about another 2 inches of window inside the boat, which will be nice. And I got these left here as templates for whenever I get the new windows cut. I'm going to get them cut to this size. So I managed to get most of the hardware off this week. What's left is a couple of wenches and the electronics, which I'll hope to get to next week. So Paul Birch dropped off this bandsaw, and I want to thank him for it. It had been sitting around for a little while, so there was a little bit of work that needed to be done, but that's fairly cheap compared to the cost of one of these. So one of the first things that we're going to have to do is change the rubber wheel, because there's a rubber on the steel wheel up top, and as I tried running it, it just literally cracked apart and fell off. So that's going to be my first job, and a couple of other little jobs to do on this. The bottom wheel looked fine for now. We won't replace it. It's because we're getting ready to put some epoxy and fiberglass on the Wave Rover 650, and we have to cut some foam rollers to do that. As you can see from the Wave Rover 650 here, we did manage to get the foam rollers cut, and we got the fiberglass on the boat here. So after that quick look at the 650, we'll get back to the restoration of the bandsaw. Hope you enjoy. There, it's all cleaned up and ready to go. Just need to make sure that the table is plumb with the blade, and then we should be good. I just noticed something else is cracked, so I'm gonna have to dig into it and have a look at that. So a little bit more work to do to this, a bit more than I thought, but it looks like they tried a couple of fixes on it and just never worked, so I guess it's time to replace it. The mount that holds the table appears to be a discontinued item, so it doesn't look like I'll be able to easily buy a new one. So I have been in talks with a welder that thinks he should be able to weld this back together. He's going to take a look at it tomorrow, Thursday or Friday of this week, so we will see if he can manage to weld cast aluminum. It's a very specialized area, but overall this was a very poor design to have this bolt come right through right at the corner where all the weight from the cutting table would be going on it. If you like these videos, please subscribe, click the bell button, like, and feel free to leave a comment. I enjoy all of them.